Good morning, everyone. It's nice to see all these smiling, happy faces. I'm Marlene Bottenfield, the platform assistant today, and I will be assisting Reverend Beci Rohkohl. And good morning, our live stream family. We're so grateful that you can be here with us today also. We have a special packet of information for new people. Is there anyone new here today? There's a ribbon on there that you can put on your lapel. Our prayer chaplain for today is Carly. Is there another? I only saw one person. Okay. Carly Towsley is our prayer chaplain, and she will be available immediately after the service. If you'd like some individual prayer, you can go to the left and the left again, and she'll be there ready to pray with you. If you would like some healing hands prayer in our group healing, you can sign up between the two bathrooms. There's slips of paper that you can fill out and to request a prayer. Or if you would like individual prayer, we have this heart hanging right here, and you can put your prayer request in there. We'll begin today, as always, with lighting our Christ candle. With gratitude, we gather as the unique expressions of the divine presence that we are. We pause to feel into this life force that invites us to be a creative partner with it. We now allow it to fully embody within our whole being. We also sense and feel the connection that exists between each one of us, the universal web of intelligence that we partake in as the human race. We appreciate our web of connectivity with one and all, moving from a me to a we focus. We express our desire to unite with all of humanity through the energy of compassion and kindness. We invite this energy to now rise up within us while extending outward to connect with Mother Earth and all sentient beings. This uniting spirit of oneness, of the one I am presence, we call the Christ. We light this candle now as a reminder that we are all blessed by being part of this one presence. It is the truth. Let us own it and make it real in our lives. Amen. Sometimes I think that candle purposefully likes to play with people who are up here. And now, our opening song that Kellie is going to sing with us is I Release and I Let Go.
Yes, I think we do this 3 times through. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. Let the spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Now please remain standing and greet your neighbors. Hello. Thank you so much. I'm a little nervous, sorry. Reverend Becky will now do the invocation.
Good morning. I just want to take it in for a minute. You're beautiful. This is a beautiful community. So let us begin with the divine. Just relax where you are. Let's sink into our hearts as we say, thank you, Spirit. Thank you for being here with us. For every person in every seat, and for those online, we are grateful. Unity of Gold Country Spiritual Center is just an amazing place to be. And we know that it is our connection with the divine that makes us even better, more in love, more willing, more open. We see these wonderful qualities all around each and every person in here. And we see the light and love in each other. We know that that light and love comes from the divine at our center, and it joins us to the oneness that is unity. One presence, one only oneness that we need. And this congregation has got this down. We thank you. Thank you for the beautiful sunny day. I wasn't here in the heat. And thank you for just all the love and all the wonderful feelings that are here. And the evolution of this spiritual center is, I hope that other people can feel it. Maybe you online can't feel it with us right now, but maybe if we send enough energy your way, we can think of you and include you in our moments of connection. We know you're there, and we invite you to join us here. We are grateful for the oneness and the connection to our spirit. Through the learnings of the Fillmores, it's just empowering us to be completely who we are at all times. And we affirm this oneness in ourselves, in this community, and in the world, because we can see that in the world through you, the Christ within. We appreciate you, and we thank you. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen.
And now let's take a moment to pray for all those who have requested prayer from us. Together, we set the intention that as each name on our prayer list is read, that person is bathed in love and their highest good comes to them. Yvonne Bartlett, Jana Sedlakova, the Wright family, Rob Beam, Ed Anderson, Sandy Bates, Jim Marish, Braden Bomar, Sharon and Mariella Folsom, Jared Parsons, Joanne Stykes, Josh, Justin Evans, Vanessa Smith. And we pray for healing and peace in our world, and for our future minister and ministry. And may we remember the whole of love empowered in our prayers. And who else do we pray for today? Please say their names out loud. There is only one presence and one power, active as the universe and as our lives, the all-loving goodness of God, and all is well. And now I'll read the daily word. World peace. Affirming the divinity of all the world's people, I envision world peace. Peace is met for every person of every faith in every land. Today I look beyond the news of the world, reports of strife and conflict, even the agitation and unforgiveness I may feel in my own heart, and I find the peace of God. I believe the desire for lasting peace is within each person's heart. In prayer, I affirm this truth and envision this desire growing stronger among the world's people until peace can no longer be denied. It is our shared destiny to live in peace. When each person wants for all people what they want for themselves, harmony will blanket the earth. I affirm the peace I wish for myself is dawning in the hearts of others and dawning in myself. In prayer, I see them safe and secure in the heart of God, forever at peace. And from Thessalonians 2, 3:16, now may the Lord of peace himself give you peace at all times and in all ways. The Lord be with all of you. And now Reverend Becky is going to do our meditation for today.
So let's take those words of peace and love into our hearts. When you're ready, just get relaxed in your seat. And when you're ready, you can close your eyes. But if you want to leave them open, that's fine. Just have a soft focus on something in front of you. As you breathe in, peace. And as you breathe out, peace. The divine is at the center of each and every one of us, helping us to know our own individual greatness so that we can share it with the world and truly bring peace on earth. As you enter into your heart space, allow it to open up and let all the light carry forward. Just a big room filled with light, love, and peace. Release and allow all distractions, anything other than my voice. Remember, you are here to be yourself and to be at peace. You deserve this time and space for you, and you share it with everybody here and everybody online. Peace, be still. You are here to deepen your connection to the divine as well as to everybody else, and to shine the light of peace and love to all. We are not separated. We are all one presence. And we are all in that presence of divine spirit. As you breathe in, you know that you are worthy of all this love, all this light, as your neighbor is, as your friends are, and as our community and world is worthy. And separation does not exist because we are all oneness. Right here in this space, as we rest, we're helping reset our own nervous system to realize and let go of the other things and realize who we are as the children of the Spirit. We practice self-love so that we have more love to give our world. We practice peace, and in doing so, we bring more peace to our world. We no longer keep tabs or any way of recognizing anything other than peace, because we see peace in each other's beautiful, sparkling eyes. We are supporting each other and loving each other in this space. And we are changing the world with this peace and this love. So continue to breathe in just for a moment, and I want you to take that peace and that love into silence for a moment. What a joy it is to feel the harmony of peace around us and love around us as us. We are so grateful in this space, and we will take that gratitude with us when we leave as well, because we know the truth. We are one with Spirit. So as you take your next breath, go ahead and breathe a little longer, and then just kind of let go and bring yourself back to this space and this time. Wiggle your toes and your fingers. And remember, your oneness and your worthiness and your peace and your love are all right there at the center of your being. Namaste.
I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering. I am remembering. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering. I am remembering. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering. I am remembering.
That's such a beautiful song, and it went perfectly with that beautiful meditation. Reverend Becky will now give the talk, Cultivating Authenticity in a World Full of Expectations.
I know I'm going to start right off, shaking you up. It's like, I have to be me, and what these people expect of me, right? So good morning, and thank you all for showing up. Even for those of you online that are not here, you're here in spirit, when we appreciate your presence. If you could see from my space these beautiful faces, you would just suck all this energy in, and I think I'll be filled up for a month. Thank you. Thank you. So what we're going to talk about is cultivating authenticity in a world full of expectations, and this was a big lesson for me. I don't know if any of y'all had problems trying to be just yourself, especially around your family and other people. It's just like they expect things from you, and you're like, but that's not me. And they have a hard time hearing no, especially family. Will tell you up front, those of you that weren't here yesterday, I'm the black sheep in my family. So that's who you gave the mic to. And I will take complaints at the back if you'd like later. So, do they have the clicker up there?
Oh, you just wiggle your finger and Leslie will get it.
Yeah. We're going to say just a real quick prayer after that. I can't believe that your music was exactly. We know God's at work, right? So just take a minute and breathe in as we say, Father, Mother, God, thank you for this space and this time and for this beautiful music and this service lining up just perfectly, and for all those beautiful faces. I am just sucking them all in, and I appreciate it. Thank you for everything you do. Amen. A little one, quick one right before I talk always helps me, because I tend to be moving. I move a lot. I move very animated. Can you change the next one, please? I'm going to start with a poem. I thought this was really funny when I read it, and I thought, well, I'll start off with this. It says, "You are not your age, nor the size of your clothes you wear. You are not your weight or the color of your hair. You are not your name or your dimples in your cheeks. You are all the books you read and all the words you speak. You are your croaky morning voice and the smiles you try to hide. You are the sweetness in your laughter and every tear you've ever cried. You are the songs you sing so loudly when you know you're all alone." Guilty as charged. "You are the places and you've been to and the one that you call home. You are the things that you believe in and the people whom you love. You are the photos in your bedroom and the future you dream of. You are made of so much beauty that it seems that you forgot when you decided that you were defined by all the things you are not." The next one. Defining self for me was a battle. I don't know if you guys share this with me, and I may ask you to raise your hands or mentally let me know that I grew up having to be something other than what I was. It was a difficult childhood, but I think in some ways I still cultivated the gold out of it, you know? And, but I had to put on masks in order for my own survival. You know, when I was with my parents, I had my mask on. When I was at the church, I had my mask on. When I was at school, I had my mask on. And it took me till I was 36 years old to find out a place I didn't have to wear my masks. And that's unity. Because it's so easy, we can get caught up in this. That's what they want. That's what they expect. This is what the boss wants. This is what, and maybe it's age, maybe it's wisdom, maybe it's both, I don't know, or maybe it's God just says you're done. You get to the point where I'm just not going to wear those masks anymore. I'm not going to be defined by other people's expectations, because expectations are resentment and premeditated expectations. We don't want the resentment or the expectation on us. A lot of us energy workers can try to rub it off or something, but I really wanted to be in a place where I felt like I belonged. And that was a little church in Memphis, Tennessee, Unity of Memphis. And when I moved to Memphis, I was there for 6 years, but I call it my 40 days and 40 nights, as it was completely, I grew up in California, so can you imagine the South compared to California? It was quite a contrast. I didn't believe that kind of South still existed anyway, but I had to play the part at work. I had to be what they wanted me to be because that, I was a computer analyst. That's what they wanted. So that's what I was going to do. I was basically what I call a human doing, not a human being. You've heard that before, right? A human doing. So how do we get out of that human, go ahead, that human doing? So yesterday, if you weren't here, I'm going to make you jealous because we did 3 exercises and everybody full participated, which was so awesome, and the room was pretty full and everything. This is the first one we did. Consider the circle yourself, and anybody can do this at home at any time. The circle is me, and the arrows going in and out are people or things that hold my energy. So one of them could be work. You see one of them says they're my mom. Then one of them has initials because I don't want everybody to know who it is. You can say your job. You can say anything. And then after the circle and the line, we determined, does it bring me energy? Those are the inward arrows. Or does it extract energy from me? And this is something I was taught a long time ago, and it really has helped me all along because sometimes I get so caught up in what I'm being or doing for other people and everything, the expectations that I have to fill, right? And I don't stop, so I'll stop and I'll draw the circle and I'll go, okay, I love this, but let me put it on there. Does it bring me energy or does it take energy from me? And if you've got a bunch of them that are just taking energy from you, we gotta let it go. It's not good for our health, right? And I'll show you an example in a little while. So that was the first practice, and everybody named a few, and we went on and took those later into a meditation. So, let me see. Socrates was an interesting man, a philosopher, and his quote here says, "An unexamined life is not worth living." Does anybody know when he said that? As he was being threatened by the society because he was teaching philosophy to the young, the college-age students. And they told him, you either stop what you're doing and go live in exile, away from all these people you're trying to influence, or you die. And he said, I'd rather die. Who's going to stand up? That'd be a tough decision. I want to live, but if I can't be with anybody and I can't express in the way that who I am, then it's not a life. It really isn't. And he said that very plainly. I thought it was really interesting because I didn't know the whole story until I researched him for this talk. So this is what Charles Fillmore says. We love Charles Fillmore, our co-founder of Unity. It is a law of spirit that we must be that which we draw to us. If we would be drawn to us love, we must be love. Be loving and kind. If we would have peace, like we spoke about earlier, and harmony in our environment, we must establish it within ourselves. And how do we do that? Go ahead. And still manage all these expectations around us, right? We think that they're more important than who we are. And our oneness is telling us it's quite the opposite. It's quite the opposite, because being who we are is a lot more important. Knowing yourself. And Socrates knew himself. God is in us all you. Be the love that your truth and unchanging and an untouchable heart presents. We have to be ourselves. I want to say, put the word have to, right? We are here to become ourselves. And that's our mission. That's what Socrates' mission was. And he wasn't going to be allowed to do it, so he chose death. So you want to know your truth. Be you. Does anybody in here feel like other people expect them to be somebody other than themselves? I'm going to throw myself under the bus. Myself and my husband are raising grandchildren. We had 5, and we've had them for 8 years, but the oldest one is now 21. He's in the Marines. He's off living his life with his wife. So, and I had another one just graduate. But so a lot of times they expect me to be what they want me to be. And especially since my diagnosis, they've learned a real hard lesson that I am going to make that boundary, and you're going to have to step up to it, and you step in and I'll step out. We'll meet each other in the middle, because they expect, well, can't you just take me to what's the phrase, house at 9 o'clock at night? No, I can't. I mean, I love them, and they're absolutely amazing kids. Like I said, we've had them for 8 years, but sometimes their expectations of me, and even sometimes my husband, I sure would like to get the lawn mowed, and I'm like, yeah, well, teach some munchkins how to drive the lawnmowers, because that used to be my job before, and I'm just like, not anymore. I'm not up for it right now. I am in the healing mode, and I am giving the healing and loving to myself. I'll participate as far as I can, then you got to step in the rest of the way. If they're used to you being one way and then you change, it sure gets the hair on the back of their neck stood up. They're like, why is she changing this? Okay, in Romans 12:2 it says this, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what it is the will of God, what is good, and what is acceptable and perfect. I like this, but what happens here is you think, okay, I won't be changing the world, but how do I test it? You test it with your relationships, right? And you test it by looking at some kind of form of, like the circle and stuff, some kind of way of seeing what it is and realizing that's not working for me anymore. I like the visual part of it because to me that makes it more concrete. I can hear it, but if I can see it, I will download an audio book and then buy the book. I will confess. Because I'll listen to the audio when I'm driving, but I'm not retaining everything I want to hear. So when I go home, I can read the pages that I went over, and it's more concrete for me from that perspective. So we have to test what is ours and what is not, and who we are in God. And some people help us with that. Some people give us plenty of opportunity to lay that boundary out and say, I love you, and I'm giving you what you need, but I'm not going to step over it. And I know that at some point in all y'all's life, because you're like me, you were giving more and more and more away, because we have the heart of service, right? We're the servant. That's what God has asked us here to do, to serve each other. And so getting out of that mode, I was the middle child of 5, and I was the oldest daughter. And if you remember the times, boys didn't have to do anything. They could go fishing with Dad, and I was in the kitchen on a crate at 5 years old washing the dishes, because their expectations were different for my brothers than they were for me. And I took that and ran with it because I thought everybody expected me to be the one that did it all. And I didn't learn truthfully that there was another way until I hit Unity in 12 steps. It's the only way I started going, what? These expectations are poisoning me? What do I do? And then I started working on myself, and I actually really love doing spiritual work, especially with myself. I'll tell you a real quick story on this one. Yeah. Any of you ever see the movie Girl Interrupted? It's pretty powerful, right? And a lot of it takes place in a sanitarium, which they don't exist anymore. They're mental hospitals now. But when I was 6 years old, my mother did a stint in a sanitarium. Back then, your husband could call the cops and say you were insane, and they would take you away. They would. But my mom, the first time she was locked up for 6 months. And I, being a 6-year-old, the oldest daughter, I wanted to see my mom, and I was like screaming mad at my dad. I was like, you are going to take me to see her. And when I walked into that thing, it looked just like the sanitarium on Girl Interrupted. The women standing on the side of the thing, smoking cigarettes, banging their head with the crazy hair. I mean, it was literally, when I saw that movie, I had to close my eyes during the scenes when they were actually in the sanitarium, because it brought back the horror that I felt. I walked into my mom's room with my dad. She was sitting on the edge of the bed, painting a velvet Elvis by numbers. She barely looked over at me, but you could see she wasn't herself. You could just see it. Little did I know, I learned a lot later, that she was bipolar. I thought all moms act like this, and I was her willing caregiver, because I thought that was what expected of me, to be her caregiver while she was in this place. And I had 2 sickly younger kids. They called me mom. My brother and sister called me mom for years. because I was their nurturer. I was the one that fed them and took care of them. So my role was completely different. I really resented my brothers, but I couldn't say it out loud because my dad would say, well, you're the girl. You know, this is your job to take care of the house. I'm so grateful that that attitude has shifted, you know, and like I am raising, right now we have the 4 teenage girls, and that's not how I'm treating them. We don't do it because it's a girl or a boy job. We do it because it needs to be done. And you want to be able to do these things for yourself instead of have call somebody and help you. You want to be able to do them. So go to the next one. I read Parker Palmer. Anybody else? Yeah, he's amazing, right? He's a Quaker and he's a teacher, and he's co-founded the Spiritual Center for Living. I think it's in Washington or Oregon. But in this book, A Hidden Wholeness, he talks about living a divided life. He says, we live that are congruent with our lives that are congruent with their inner truth in a world that focuses on fragmentation. And I still think we carry a lot of that. Fragmented, compartmentalizing things, you know. Well, when I'm there, I'll do this way. When I'm there, I'll do this way. And it makes me feel like I'm not me in those spaces. And I've come to realize that I need to be me so that that person can be them. That's the only way we can get everybody to really come into this sense, is they really need to be them. And with the way I grew up, it's kind of difficult, but you're mapping your inner journey that we take in solitude and in the company of others. That's why Socrates decided not to stay, because he couldn't be in the company of others. It's really great to philosophize all by yourself, but how are you showing up in the world around you? It was what really matters, and he wasn't given that choice. The next one. So I had my own little hospital stay, because once I learned my mother was bipolar and I have mental illness all throughout my family, my biggest fear was I'm going to be like them. That's going to happen to me. And at one point, I was so overwhelmed with what was going on in my life. I like for 5 days, I didn't eat, I didn't drink, I didn't go to work. I was just like this. I don't know how I even survived until a girlfriend called me and she goes, "What is going on?" And I said, "You need to come get me." So I went to the doctor, the mental institute it was in Phoenix, Arizona, and they admitted me. I could be under there for 72 hours, you know. And so I just sat down with the psychiatrist and I just bellowed out all this stuff. And I think I talked for 2 hours straight. And he was just writing notes. And he says, "I think I understand what's going on." And because I kept saying, "I'm not going to be my mom. I'm not going to be my mom." And I that's why I'm here, because I'm so afraid. I need you to tell me that I'm not going to be my mom. And the next morning I got up. I slept so good that night. I don't know what they gave me, but ooh. That was like the first night's sleep in 6 days, and I'm just like, oh, give me more of that. I'll go sleep again. But I got up, and when I opened my eyes, I realized where I was, and I was like, oh, no, this isn't the right place. You know, he's going to tell me I'm like my mom, and then I'm going to have to, because I know a lot about mental illness. I actually am a supporter of NAMI, National Alliance on Mental Illness. I actually do classes with them. I actually started a affiliate in northern Arizona. You can look up White Mountains NAMI, and I was the one that co-founded that. I was really proud of that. But at this point, I was so afraid when I went in to meet him the next morning that he was going to tell me I was my mom. And he sits down and I said, "Tell me I'm not my mom. Tell me I'm not bipolar. Tell me, or if I am, tell me how I can get through this." And he looks at me and he goes, "I think I need to show you something." And he turns his tablet back and scoots it towards me. And he goes, "I want you to read it." From top to bottom, it was covered. He said, "These are your responsibilities right now? This is all that's on your mind right now?" He said, 4 of those would have killed anybody. I was meeting everybody else's expectations, and I wasn't being myself. So we worked together for a while. He let me go that night, which was great. I got back home, and then my cat really loved me. So he was like, "Yay," and Jojo was like, "Yay, my mom." So. But I was able to get back to my house and back to work, and I worked with a therapist for a while. I kind of, anytime I know I need therapy, I go and get it. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I do, because I really feel like I need to know where this is headed, because it's so prominent in my family. I even have a schizophrenic grandchild and bipolar grandchildren, and I mean, so it's like really, and even my sister and my brother, one has schizophrenia and one has bipolar disease, so I'm super hyper aware of mental health stuff, and I really bring it to the forefront, so I watch it very carefully. But what I had to do was learn that I was meeting, go ahead, everybody else's expectations, and I had to figure out who I really was. And if anybody of you have done that, that's a deep dive. I'm still free falling, because I still do the work, because I want to know how much better I can be. And I feel like this place already knows that that's the process. It keeps going. It keeps going. So the therapist asked me the bigger question is that he asked me a question I was not ready for. He says, "What do you do for fun?" I was like, my jaw dropped. I'm like, I'm supposed to have fun in here too? What do you mean? He goes, name 3 things that you do just for fun. I could not name them. Not even one. And I was just like, he goes, see how the imbalance is? You're meeting everybody else's expectations, but you're not even caring for yourself. So he goes, that's when he taught me the circle and the drawing and energy in, energy out. And I was just like, oh, wow, this makes so much sense. And thank God I had Unity to go to with other people doing the same thing. You could change this. I'm not a human doing. I'm a human being. Actually, a spiritual being having a human experience. And if you can really stay in that thought long enough, you become it, just like we talked about earlier. This presented me an opportunity to learn and grow. And so did my mom in my childhood. I learned to dig for the gold. And I do have some really golden things that come. My mom taught me how to be self-sufficient. And that's a great skill. A lot of people, I don't attest to a lot of younger people today, they don't have that. So I keep mining. Every experience that happens, I mine it a little deeper. I become a little closer to who I am. And when I recognize that I'm trying to meet someone else's expectations, I talk to myself and say, okay, do we need to have to talk with them, or is it just me? And then if I do have to talk to them, they're very uncomfortable conversations when somebody's been getting their way for a long time and doesn't get it anymore. But that's when you find out who really loves you and who wants to be a part of your life. When you start empowering your boundaries, when you take care of yourself. You direct your whole vibration. People will vibrate away or they'll vibrate to you. I lost a lot vibrating away. That's why I said I'm the black sheep. But all these loving human beings have been floating into my life and bringing me energy and sharing energy and teaching me new skills and everything. So I'm not a human doing anymore. I'm a human being. And I'm still I always tell everybody I'm a work in progress. So what you're seeing now is probably going to change next year if I'm here. It's going to be different because I'm going to evolve, because that's what I'm meant to do, and I'm meant to be here as the light that you are to share with the outer world and with each other. So could you change it? Okay. These are tools that I've used along the way. Prayer, well, we know Unity is based on prayer, right? That was what the Fillmores even started, was a prayer group, praying for other people, getting letters, millions of letters a week or something. It was like all these letters poured in. And meditation, that's one of our Unity principles, 5 principles, right? Prayer and meditation. Journaling is a big thing. When I stop journaling, that's when I start having more problems. When I'm not getting it out on paper, because I'm holding it in. I'm keeping it to me. Saying no. Oh, it was so hard to learn how to say no, right? And then I read a book just recently called Say Yes to Everything. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I can go that far. When you go to Australia, well, let me think. Keeping your boundaries and having friends and family time, even if it's doing nothing, but sitting there having dinner together. One of the rules at our house is if you bring your phone to the table, you have to flip it upside down. You can't be on your phone at the table. And that's what I've enjoyed here, because nobody's been on their phone while we've been having conversations. It's like, oh, I met my people, because what's on the phone is going to get there. We used to have to drive all the way home and listen to the answering machine. And every day we walked in the door, I'd be like, nobody loves us. They didn't call. Me and my kids would be running in the house. Who loves us today? Nobody. But alone time, too. I'm a big fan of alone time. I like the solitude. I like when I hike, before this all came about, when I was hiking, I would pray the whole time I hiked. I didn't want the people with me to talk to me because I was in prayer, and it was just me and spirit talking to each other. And still learning to play. If you don't play, you got to learn something. What I did is I went back to the stuff that was fun in my childhood, and then I started bringing that into my adulthood. It looks a little silly, but me and the kids still play those games. Red Rover, send someone right over, because it's away from all the electronics. It's just being fun and silly in the moment. And education is important. There was a quote about an uneducated mind is something, but I don't remember what it was. But educate in whatever you want to learn. It keeps your brain smart. It keeps you. You'll learn more about you. That's why I listen to all these authors and everything. And in R&R, of course, rest and relaxation. And we don't always have to be a human doing. That is not our purpose here on life. And I think I'm preaching to the choir here because from the people that I've met since I've been here, I think they understand that. I've seen a lot of people express that. So, no, it's the next one. Okay, that looks like the same one. Parker Palmer also says this in a different book. This is the first book of his I read, Let Your Life Speak. Isn't that an interesting title? Who you are, let your life tell the world who you are. Live by that. So it says self-care is never a selfish act. It is simply good stewardship of the only gift I have, the gift I was put on the earth to offer others. Anytime we can listen to our true selves and give them care it requires, we do it not only for ourselves, but for the many others' lives we touch. Do you know that not being you is not serving the world? Do you really know that? Because there are people out there, this is the only spirituality they'll ever see is by meeting you. They'll never walk through a spiritual center's door, but they'll see you in your being and instead of your doing. So, on the next one, this is a series of slides. This is actually a poem I wrote a year after my visit to the psychiatric ward, and I'll read it to you. The woman in the mirror, the one that I see, she has a great resemblance of what usually is me. At times there is tatter or creases and blur. Her hair all on end, it is always her. I wake in the morning, roll out of the sheets, to glance as I pass her this morning, she greets. Sometimes she is well rested, her smile all shine. Other days with less zest and a great deal on her mind. There are sightings of great joy behind those hazel eyes. I see the difference, yet it's hard to comprise. No matter the day she seems come to light, the woman in the mirror never has fright, no longer has fright. The lines and the marks of a life well lived are the signs of a woman with much to give. As I pass her in the mirror, I'm grateful for the sight, her smile or her frown, morning and night. The woman in the mirror, the one that I see, is at last who and what she should be, me. I'm so excited because I got through the whole thing without crying. I've only shared it once before and I cried through the whole thing. And the minister's like, did you read that before? I said, I've read it for years now. So go to the next one, please. So I want you to look at this. We look in the mirror, often we see all of our fragments, We can see the difficulties we shared. We can see the lines. But what if, for just a moment, the person in the mirror was the one on the left? That's me. I have all these war scars. I have all this stuff going on. But what I see is the beauty. Because oftentimes when people look at this picture, they're like, oh, yeah, she's really torn up. But they're looking at it from the more together side instead of from the right side instead of from the left side. Because it's truly who we are. We all have, our human experience is all going to have us in some way or another have cracks and creases and things that, you know, we've learned and we got to unlearn. But if we can start looking in the mirror and seeing more and more of our beauty, smile at yourself in the mirror. Really, it helps with depression, by the way. The next one. So the takeaways I'm going to give you here is we find ourselves, our true selves, when we find God within us. When we are true to ourselves, we are being true to the divine. God wants nothing more than for us to be true to the divine. Nothing more than that, because that's what he created us for. And it just, to me, that just feels like, it fills my heart and overpours. So the next one, we have some affirmations. I want you to join me. I'm going to say it first, and then you're going to repeat it. All right, so I am worthy of all good. Together, I am worthy of all good. All right, you are worthy of all good. You're going to tell your neighbors, together, you are worthy of all good. And now we're going to tell way beyond the walls of this place, so you have to say it from your diaphragm out, all right? We are all worthy, and then we'll say it together in a minute. We are all worthy. We are worthy of all good. Okay. We are worthy of all good. Okay, all together. We are worthy of all good. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that beautiful talk.
Thank you.
It's now time for our love offering. Let's say together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is.
Amen.
And Kelly will play some special music for us.
Where's the basket? Right there. Is that the basket there?
It's a song called Feels Just Like Home by Melissa Etheridge. Funny how it turns out everything can change. What I feel right now is not the same as yesterday. There's more than I imagined deep inside my heart, emotions that I never knew. This is just the start. So many things I've been missing, not watching, but that's all in the past. Now I realize there's so much more to learn. I'm ready for the world, not scared of letting go. I realize there's so much more to feel, and my heart knows it's real. The part of me so long forgotten is calling, and this feels like home. Home, home, feels just like home. Learning how to smile again, free to show my heart, knowing I can face the things that used to seem so hard. I look inside my heart and see a different part of me. What I didn't know I want in life, it's everything I need. So many things I've been missing, not watching, but that's all in the past. Now I realize there's so much more to learn. I'm ready for the world, not scared of letting go. I realize there's so much more to feel, and my heart knows it's real. The part of me so long forgotten is calling, and this feels like home. Home, home, feels just like home. Feels just like home.
There we go. Thank you.
We take these offerings that have been given from the depths of our hearts to share with unity worldwide and unity in the Gold Country. Thank you, God. And now, it's the last Sunday of the month. It's birthday time. So all those people who had a June birthday, come on up.
Oh, wow. There's a whole bunch of them.
Oh, yeah. Look at
Yay.
this.
Whoa.
Wow.
All right, here we go. There's more still coming.
Woo, yeah.
Nice. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you. You are wonderful. God is blessing you now.
Happy birthday, everyone. Thank you. This is like majorly breaking a record. Happy birthday, Meyer. We just have a few announcements to make now. As you all know, Reverend Becky was our first candidate, ministerial candidate, and you all got evaluation forms. If you didn't, there, I know, are some more. The people who are passing them out, did the left? Okay, Heidi has any extra forms if someone didn't get one. There's also a basket of pins in the back for you to fill out the form. When you've got the form completed, would you please put it on the counter as you head out the door? And if you would rather do it at home, you can actually go online. In your e-bulletin on Thursday, you saw that there was a line that says ministerial evaluation. You can just click on that and fill out the whole form online. So you have two choices, but whichever you choose, do it soon so that it's before you forget how you feel and so that I can tally everything up. Okay. We have Reverend Sharon coming next weekend, and she will be giving a Sunday talk as well as doing a workshop, just like Reverend Becky did this Saturday. So Reverend Sharon will do a workshop on Saturday. Please sign up in the back if you would like to come, and I hope as many people as possible want to come and listen to what she has to share. And then she will give the talk Sunday. And let's see. There will be a new hypnotherapy class starting on July 25th. This one's in the evening from 6:30 to 8. Oops. I'm sorry, on July 11th and on July 25th. And one more important thing. Angela Apostle will be having shoulder surgery on July 8th and will be a lovely bird with clipped wings. So she's prepared all her meals, but she would really love to have somebody visit her, rides to physical therapy. So she's looking forward to you giving her some of your loving attention. And her phone number was listed in the e-bulletin. It's also up there. And it's also in the directory. And those of you who were here yesterday, and those of you on live stream who might have tried to join the Zoom yesterday. We had technical difficulties, not because of us not trying ahead of time, but there was a glitch in the system that prevented it from being able to be shown properly. And so Reverend Becky, being a techie, in case you didn't know she's a techie, is going to be able to recreate that for us, and she will have it ready for us to see later on in the week. And just a reminder that I didn't do Claire yet. Sorry, Claire. Claire's mediumship readings are going to be again on July 21st. She's skipping next Sunday so that you'll be able to do the question and answer with Reverend Sherry next Sunday after the service. So the next one will be on the 21st of July. And that reminds me to just mention that today after the service we also have a question and answer time. We'll take a 10-minute break and then we'll start. Any questions you have for Reverend Becky, you're welcome to be asking her, and she will answer everything. So that means that the bookstore will be open for about 2 seconds, a really short amount of time, so that you can come back here and ask your questions. And also, I'd like to encourage you to, if you want to have some prayer time, to not rush the prayer time, but move into the chapel as soon as possible after the service. Okay, and now we are officially in fire season. In case no one has noticed, we're having some incredible heat next week, but just remember that Unity is always available. If you're overheating at your house, come on over and enjoy everybody's company while we cool off here, okay? And I'd like to thank all the volunteers and participants from today, or for today. First, I'd like to thank Reverend Becky. And then there's me. And Kelly, our musician. Yeah. And our greeters, Karen and Harry Wyeth, and our ushers, Linda Bacchetti and Pam Strong, and our chaplain, Carly Towsley. Hospitality was Patricia Levitan and Patricia Plank. Sound was Drew Towsley today. Live stream is Leslie. The gift shop is Catherine Beatty, and the altar was also by Catherine. And Teresia is with the children today. And I heard we have a large group of 3 children in the other room. Yeah. Okay, it's time for our unity prayer. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, because I am, and all is well.
Love be with you, peace enfold you, spirit lift you, breathe it in, truth come through you, make good flow to you, let joy renew you, till we meet again. Love be with you, love be with you, love be with you. set it free, and share this blessing. Love be with you, peace enfold you, spirit lift you, breathe it in. Truth come through you, may good flow to you, let joy renew you till we meet again. Love be with you, 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 peace enfold you, spirit lift you, breathe it in. Truth come through you, may good flow to you, let joy renew you till we meet again, till we meet again. Love be with you.